All right, people. I think we may have got it finally. No. No. Oh, okay, no. Yeah, we got it. We're happy. Uh yeah. So I am a technical genius. Uh Let me just get this titled right. Interview with a veteran, I can't spell veteran, YouTuber of 15 years plus. All right. So I'm not a streaming person, as you can probably surmise. All right. Oh, here he is. Howdy, Brett. I'm all right. Yeah, I got it. Let me send you a link to the stream. Sorry, technology is not really my forte, so I picked a marvelous industry to try and crack into for myself. Uh, I'm just streaming our Skype call onto my channel through OBS. All right. Yep. Yep. I got you loud and clear. Yeah. Wait, hang on. I'm just gonna mute for a second. All right. Oh,
Yep.
geez. Sorry, Brett. Yep. I got you loud and clear.
Oh, it's all good, man.
All right. Why do you give a brief introduction, just for as a test?
My name is Boo-Hoo from
Sorry, Brett.
Shoodoo,
Yep.
and I like to
you loud
do
and
the
clear.
doo-doo for the foo-foo.
All right. Why do you give a brief introduction, just for let's see how that comes through.
My name is Boo-Hoo from
Sorry, Brett.
Shoodoo,
Yep.
and I like to do
All right.
the
There it is. All right. We're good. All right. Finally, very professional show we got here. So I guess for everyone that stumbles across this, who are you?
Well, in my personal life, I am known as Brett Keane. I have a wife, two beautiful children. I'm surviving in the world. I have hobbies like music, art. I'm into design, graphic designs. I've also been known to design websites for people. I'm very computer-oriented and very creative type of person. In social media, I am known as the nastiest, most horrible piece of shit that's ever walked the earth. But besides that, I'm good.
So, how long have you been doing YouTube?
I have been doing it probably a couple of years before the corporate conglomerate known as Google ended up taking over and robbing everyone of their soul.
So, what was that, like 2007, 2008? So, before that. So, like 15 years would be a good sort of estimation.
Yeah.
So how did you hear of YouTube? Because I know back then you couldn't, just go on Facebook or whatever and be like, oh, check this website out. Where, like, was it someone you met on the internet that recommended you do this website, or how'd you find out about it?
Well, I had done a video about this you can check out later. It's about an hour long. What happened was, I'll give you a brief summary because people will find it fascinating on the internet. My wife had just given birth to our second child, and my daughter was sick, so one of us had to choose to actually stay home and take care of her. Well, while this was going on, I would listen to Yahoo chat rooms with Christians and atheists and people of all different beliefs arguing. To me, it was like a radio station listening to it. Well, one day I decided to participate in the conversations, and the religious people as well as non-believers thought that I had such a sexy, erotic voice, I guess. They told me, dude, you should make videos on YouTube. Well, I decided to take a look at YouTube, and all I seen was kitty cats playing fucking pianos and gerbils on wheels, and I'm thinking, why do they think Brett Keane would work out on this kind of shit? This is garbage. That's what I figured. But they told me, just try it. So I made a video called Science versus Religion, and it was kind of a real shitty looking video. It had like one little picture of some medication on the front of it. And I basically talked about the benefits of science. And at the time, I was an atheist, so I was hating on religion. Well, I went away for about 2 weeks. I didn't suspect anybody give a fuck about some big mouth idiot from St. Louis, Missouri. I returned 2 weeks later. I got 5,000 subscribers within just a couple weeks. So I figured, wow, that's pretty neat. And over 1,000 comments telling me what a sexy son of a bitch I am. So I figured maybe this is interesting. This seems very valuable. I wanted to socialize with people. That was my agenda.
For sure. And
comments, and you're thinking, wow, neat. So I made another video and another one, and within just a couple of weeks, I jumped up to like 10,000 subs. And that's where it started going. I started making a lot of friends, chilling, and that's what kept me around.
well, how would you say the YouTube scene sort of differs from then to now? Like, 2020 YouTube versus, I guess, 2006 YouTube or 2007 YouTube.
Well, people were a lot nicer. They were cool in the beginning before Google took over, and there's a good reason for that. You had to be somebody really fucking special in order to get a partnership. No one was getting monetized. No one was getting rewarded. You weren't getting benefits for every click or view you got. So people simply used it as a tool to communicate and make new friends. But then whenever Google started making it to where people got paid, everybody thought, well, shit, I don't have to work at fucking McDonald's again. I can just fucking be like a billionaire by making videos. Well, some people realize suddenly, but wait a minute, I ain't got no talent. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing up here, so I'll just hit record and make fun of somebody who's super popular or insult the fuck out of somebody that's like super famous. And they discovered that these reactionary videos was getting them paid. And so this troll as well as Google YouTube was born.
I know that even now that there are some competitors to YouTube like Odyssey and BitChute. I think Dailymotion, if they're still around. But were there some sites that were other video sharing platforms from that time that have either just gone by the wayside or just extinct that you kind of missed? Like, were there any other websites you were active on?
Oh, I got videos on tons and tons of different social media sites. The problem is that not only does Google own YouTube, but they're the most popular search engine in the world, and they've been known to push political agendas and shut down any competitors. So although there are other video sites that have quality to it and you can upload high definition videos, they literally got no fucking community whatsoever. And that's what you and guys like myself are looking for, right? We want to be able to see people and hear people. Well, if there's nobody there, even if we give it our full shot, what's the fucking point? There's nobody watching, nobody listening, and Google has successfully killed its competitors. As far as Odyssey goes, that's a quality site. It's nice. It's real easy setup. You put your videos up, you can live stream, but again, people mostly use that just to connect their YouTube and send archived copy videos of what they already made on YouTube. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So, over the course of your tenure on YouTube, what were some of the most, I'd say, memorable sort of events or happenings that sort of come to your mind when you sort of ever reflect back on your career? Like, oh, what a time that was. Or like, damn, I shouldn't have made that video or said that. Do you have anything like that?
You're probably, it's important for me to tell you this. I got your question. I was able to make out enough of it to be able to respond. But for your own benefit and for your own stream, your audio started really crackling up real bad.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on over there for you.
Yeah, I'm running on like a Brazilian setup, but just for the sake of the audience, I just asked what are some of the most memorable sort of events that have happened over your career as a YouTuber when you like reflect back? Is there anything that comes to your mind?
I don't really consider me on YouTube as a career. I'm not getting paid to do it unless someone decides they want to.
Well, hobby.
Well, I would say I accomplished what I was set out to do. I came to YouTube to socialize and make friends and all that, and I made tons of non-believer friends, religious friends, and those that was what I wanted. So I feel like I was successful at everything that I was goal oriented towards doing. There's not really much more that YouTube offers except for getting paid, but I don't get paid to do it. And then there's socialization, which I did set the mark on that. So I'm pretty happy about it. Met some great people, some people I don't even know how I'd live without them in my existence nowadays. Just cool son of a bitches all the way down the line.
Certainly. Well, speaking of people, I have some people because I've been in that scene when I was younger. I was an atheist. I used to be in the Nadia hangouts, if you remember those Nadia chambers. You know, those 16-hour
From time to
ordeals.
time I talk to Nadia. From time to time I talk to her over in Discord. Don't like using Discord very much, but it's the only way I can communicate with her nowadays.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna bring up I guess two people that I remember being not big hitters, but they were prevalent and they were talked about. So the first one is Nephilim Free, who I've talked to recently. He's on Discord, but yeah, he didn't have the fondest take of you because I asked him because I remember him from back in the day, and he said that you're a scumbag and this and that. But I remember weren't you guys like not tight, but you kind of rolled around together.
Mhm. Yeah, I like him and I respect him, and I think that a lot of what he has to say about evolution and abiogenesis is true. He's extremely articulate on his views and how he presents himself on things. The reason why he and I had a fallout is, well, it was for him who had the fallout. I didn't. I don't have anything against the guy whatsoever. But the issue was is that whenever I'd invite him on my shows or any of my live streams, the guy had a tendency to treat it like an alpha male, where he would just take over and he would rant for. He could go on for 30 minutes without taking a breath. And me, whenever I do a live stream or a show, I want people to participate. Like if you ever decide you want to come into my show, I don't want somebody taking 20 minutes to explain a simple concept to you. I want someone to be able to say what their fucking opinion is, and then you be able to come back at them, and there be a back and forth. And that's the only thing that he has a flaw, and he's not capable of that. If someone does push back on him or his views, then you get to hear another 20-minute speech and another. Can you see how that would make a motherfucker wary trying to do a show? So
Yep.
you probably know that. You obviously know who he is. You've probably seen it for yourself, experienced it.
And the other guy, Von Helton.
Well, Von Helton, whenever I first met him, I found his topics to be interesting. I liked hearing, even though I disagree with almost probably 90% of what the fuck he says, I found him fascinating. See, whenever I did my shows and my live streams, I wasn't looking for people who were carbon copies of myself. I wanted people that had different weird ideas and thoughts. This is a guy who believed in the flat earth. He believed that somehow aliens got through a physical fucking barrier around the planet. I mean, you could go on all day from Bigfoot to Elvis Presley came back to life and shit with this guy.
Are you
It's
aware
just fun.
Are you aware of his time traveler videos?
I'm aware that he's been a time traveling vampire.
Yeah.
He eats Valentine's ding dongs. I'm aware of all the crazy shit. I get people all the time say, "Why do you hang out with him for?" Well, in the past, he was extremely interesting and fun to listen to. Some people pick on him. Me, I'm just like, I think the guy's fun. And instead of being an asshole running my mouth about him, I just kind of let him participate in the conversation and entertain and amuse people, which that kind of entertains him as well. And he's happy to be a part of a social group like that, like any human would be.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Unfortunately, nowadays for Von Helton, he's kind of he's had so many tragedies and shitty things happen in his life, losing his wife and his kids.
Oh, shit.
That's all he ever talks about anymore. He only talks about the pain and anguish and all that, and is constantly obsessed with what his trolls he feels they've done to him. And I told him, look, if you're going to come on my show, I've already heard it 50 fucking times. Nothing I can do for you, brother. Let's move on. Let's quit that shit. Put that behind you. He can't do it, so that's why he doesn't get involved in my shows as much, because I won't broadcast if he's going to go that route.
I mean, I think that's fair. And I guess the elephant in the room, the Banana Man.
Hmm. Yeah, you say Banana Man, it's kind of hard not to know who that is, right?
Yeah. So I
Okay,
know.
so, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but I know that you and TJ have had I'd say an interesting relationship. I know you started off as friends back when you were an atheist. I don't know when the turn was, but I don't. What do you think of his recent content? I don't know if you pay attention to him, or I guess what do you make of him and his sort of arc on YouTube, if you even pay attention to him?
Well, I have a lot of the same. I'll answer your last question first and work my way backwards.
All right.
I have went over to look at some of his newer content, and I think that most of his fans from the old DP days, as well as Deep Fat Fried, you can tell by the views and the subscriptions that he's literally dying. He's lost over 50,000 views. He's becoming irrelevant. And the reason why is that the videos are just, the quality's better than what he used to be. But back then his videos were raw, and he was kind of unscripted and just really letting loose. And he was more interesting back then. A lot of the things he was saying was fresh for an audience. The problem is he never, how shall I say, atheists may use the word evolved. He didn't adapt. He's now a kid that turned into an adult who still thinks he's, 18 years old. And I don't think that flies with a lot of people. I think people are looking for some other form of entertainment now. So that's where it's at on there. Were you still wanting to know what it was that caused the issue? Is that
Oh,
something?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so he was watching my channel for about a year. He got a hold of me. He said, Brett, I'm wanting to start doing atheist videos. Do you think that a guy like me would be able to do it? Because he had an esteem about his weight and the way he looked. He didn't feel like he was going to be able to have a place on YouTube. A lot of atheists felt that way. I had a lot of people back in the day come to me and say, man, I don't know if I want to do videos, man. I'm ugly. I'm not the most articulate motherfucker on the planet. And I said, fuck what people think. You think I'm some kind of Tom Cruise? Do I look like some kind of movie star up here? I just put my ugly ass up there and say what I got to say. Just be yourself. Just say what's on your mind and go with it. But of course, Google didn't own YouTube yet. You could say whatever you wanted. You can't do that nowadays because of cancel culture, right?
Yeah.
Well, what ends up happening is I make good friends with him. He starts making videos. I like his content. I give him shout outs. I plug him. I give him advice and suggestions. We talk in the background about personal shit. One day he goes on Blog TV. This is where the problem started. He goes on Blog TV and he heard all my videos where I talked about my personal life and the abuse I went through. And he decided that he was going to make videos. He seen that people would donate money to me through PayPal, and he figured it was a way for him to become wealthy if he made up stories about being sexually raped and abused by a Christian church as well as some of his family members. Well, when he did that, I asked him, after he asked for monetization from his audience, later on we spoke privately and shit. And I told him that I was recording, but I guess he forgot. He had been smoking weed or something. And I said, dude, why didn't you, we're friends, aren't we? And he goes, yeah. And I said, why didn't you ever tell me you were sexually abused? Why didn't you tell me that you had these problems with the church and everything? Why didn't you tell me about family members doing this? Because I cared about them. And he goes, oh, Brett. He goes, man, I was just watching your videos, and I seen that when you talk about the abuse you go through, people help you, and they donate money and stuff, and they try to support you. So I figured if I got up there, I'd get rich. I'll just make up shit off the top of my head. And if you don't believe me, if anybody has doubts, I actually got the video recording of him saying that on my channel right now, as well as Odyssey, in case the video ever gets taken down from YouTube. So you'll see that I'm not lying or making that up. So here's the problem. I found myself between a rock and a hard place. I like this guy, but now he's just admitted that he lies to an atheist community and audience about what actually happened to him, that nothing ever happened, just so he could suck money off of them. I've got a choice. Do I want to make a video and say there's another atheist who robs people and screws people, making the atheist community look fucking stupid? Or do I keep quiet? And he ends up getting exposed, and then people ask me why I just sat back silent. I was fucked either way, so I decided, let's do the right thing. I made videos. I said something against him. But unfortunately, he had a lot younger audience, and they didn't give a shit about facts or evidence or the truth. They decided to railroad me and try to drag me through the mud so no one would ever bother listening to what I had to say about that. And that's fine. It is what it is. It showed me what I needed to know. And that's pretty much how that started.
For sure. Do you think that DP ultimately helped you or hindered you on YouTube?
Well, I don't think that they injured me or damaged me or anything like that. I actually, one of my experiences from being on there, this is fascinating to me. When TJ reached out to me, he said, I want to have you on my new show. And he said, is there a problem? Can we put our shit behind us and just try to start over again, do a full-on reset? And I said, that's great. I said, that was many years ago. I don't have the same aggravation towards you, and I'm not even an atheist anymore. And he goes, that would be an interesting discussion on why it is your views changed and ideas. And he goes, yeah, man, I think it'd be cool. We get up and we have a discussion. I was not told that I was going to be getting up on a thing where people were going to just repeatedly attack me. So whenever he asked me the second time to come up, I said, dude, you should have just been honest with me that you just wanted a fucking punching bag, a clown that you guys could throw tomatoes at. I said, if that's the deal, then it's obvious that you're looking for clicks and views. You're doing the typical thing you've always done. You're wanting to bring popularity to your channel. If that's the case, then I expect to be a part of the business plan because I want to make some money. I said, I'm going to need to get paid for this shit. And he goes, what do you think's fair? And I said, how about $1,000 a show? He says, done. So every show I did after that shit, $1,000. And I pretty much just kind of sat back. I every once in a while participated and waited for Paul's ego to interrupt me or someone to yell over me or make a fart noise. And I was just thinking bank the whole fucking time. Who gives a shit? Who cares how it ends up looking? Like anybody is here for truth or some kind of philosophical position. It was entertainment. Kamikaze type shit.
Yeah. So what do you think about Paul and I guess sort of their modern media sort of creation system? I think personally that it's rather just kind of played out and it's kind of aimless, deep fat fried. I don't think Paul is streaming anymore. I know he was doing his ideology stuff for quite some time, but he had kind of an arc as well, going from employed, I think elementary school IT guy to divorced, living in Louisiana and smoking weed with TJ.
Yeah, wasn't the girlfriend that he hooked up with, she was like a mental patient or something?
I know she liked diapers, but yeah.
No, I think that she truly, I heard her, she made like a video on Twitter, and I wanted to see what she was about. Now, I want you to remember, I don't like target other people's. If someone's pissy on me, I don't go after their family or friends. That's one of my policies. Only reason that TJ's father was brought up for all the robbery he did was because he impacted and affected a lot of children in that diploma mill thing. But as far as Paul, I watched his girlfriend, and she said that she had just got out of the mental hospital. She was on psychiatric ward several times, and then they ended up meeting. That was the story that she told. So yeah, he found somebody that was well, let's not make fun of people who got problems or whatever, but that's the point. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's more than fair to make fun of someone for being an adult that wears diapers, but yeah. And yeah, I guess my final thing going forward, or I guess question for you is, what are your plans for the future? How do you see your YouTube content going forward? Are you just going to keep making the same kind of videos? Do you have any further aspirations? Or?
Well, as far as being able to get popular again, I don't think that that's going to ever happen because I'm in a different theological, philosophical position Christians are not very popular on YouTube. There's a handful of them that have managed to make it beyond 100,000 subs and stuff, and I'm friends with a lot of them. But atheism seems to be what's like the cool thing, at least for now. I do see that it's wearing down and people are tired of hearing the same bullshit and all that kind of stuff, but I don't see like that happening, any kind of fame towards it. However, I am making a lot of friends. I'm making a lot of shows. People are coming on there, and that's fun. So I'm accomplishing what I'm doing, and that's what it's always been for me, making new associates, friends, partners, that kind of stuff.
All right.
Like, look, check you out here right now. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm sitting here doing what I was doing, you'd never even know who I am, or even have an interest in even
Yeah.
talk.
Very true. Well, I guess I don't know, Brett. Thanks for keeping on. I view you as a dinosaur in the best way possible, because you've been on here for so long, and you've kind of just seen a lot of things come and go. You've seen stars rise and fall, trends come and go, tied in, tied out kind of thing, and you keep chugging on.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do, man. That's how you survive in the world. You got to roll with the punches. Life is a roller coaster ride. It has its ups and downs. You might as well take it to the end. That's how I always view things. Might as well stay committed. I hope you end up coming into some of my live shows and hanging out. I think you'll make some cool friends as well. We got women and men who hang out, and we joke, have a good time, talk about everything under the sun. You sure you don't have any more questions for me? I'd hate for you to end the interview and go, damn it, why didn't I ask this fucking
That's going to
dinosaur
happen
this?
regardless, but I think I covered all the bases. And yeah, why don't you drop all of your things you want to promote or plug? I know I don't want to spill the beans, but you said something about Ken Ham yesterday when we spoke.
Who?
Ken Ham. Excuse me,
Oh,
Ken Ham.
Hogan, you mean?
Yeah, Ken Ham.
Ham.
Yeah, sorry. I have Banana Man on my mind.
It's hard to get that visual out of your head, isn't it? You're going to live with that for the rest of your damn life.
Oh, yeah.
Kent Hovind's pretty cool. He's one of the guys that we've had on our show who's basically likes to argue against evolution. What's that?
I was just asking, like, if you had anything to promote with him, or if you want to just drop your channel, or if you had any events coming up, or social media you want people to follow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be doing shows throughout the week. I'll put my public link out for people to go. The easiest way to find me is youtube.com/handle. For those out there that know what a handle is, it's an @ and my name right after, Brett Keane, BRETTKEANE. You find me, and if you're interested in my books, my music, my art, my radio station that I do, which you can listen to on Spotify and Amazon Music and several other sources and all that. All my links are in the description. There's no reason I need to name them all off. Just look in the links if that's something anybody's actually interested in.
For sure. Well, I'd say that concludes it, Brett. Thank you for sitting down with me, and hope you have a beautiful night.
You too, man. You too.
God bless. Take care.
God bless you.